Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Bubble Home Church Questions. We're just going to take a moment here today. We've preached on this idea of joy, and we want to just take a little moment and just do a little bit of a deeper dive. Again, we hope that you're taking advantage of these questions. You can do this both personally, you can do it with your family. Again, we recognize that a bubble in our COVID-19 time looks different when it's orange versus when it's a yellow status. But now that we're presently in yellow, if you do have some friends that are in your bubble, we would love to have you just share and talk about these questions. It's a great way to deepen faith. So let's just look at these 4 questions. Question number 1. Joy is often driven by our circumstances. Why is that good and why is that dangerous? I mean, so much of our life is tied to our outward realities. And so obviously if we have a job, if we have health, if we have food, if we have friends, if we've had some good experiences, of course we want to be able to celebrate and say, God, thank you for those good gifts. But what happens when circumstances go bad? What can often happen to people's faith? So just take a moment to discuss about that. Maybe even your own personal feelings when you have good or bad circumstances in your life. The second question is, the joy Jesus speaks of is connected to following his commands. Why are obedience and joy connected? And what is Jesus' greatest command? I just want to kind of hope that you, as you walk through this question, that you kind of unpack this idea that in our culture today, a lot of joy in people's mindset is determined by saying, I'll do what I want to do. So they have this sort of sense of independence, and they don't really want to pay attention to other people. And of course, what they run up against in the point of faith is that when you become a Christian, you say, not my will, but your will be done, Lord. And that we have to have this hope and a confidence that God's way isn't just the best way, but it also will lead to the greatest joy. And sometimes we lose sight of that. So wrestle through with that. And then that last part of that question too, what is Jesus' greatest command? I mean, what is his greatest command? Is it to be righteous? Is it to be faithful? Or is it, as he says here in John 15, it's to love? And how does love and joy connect? Take a moment and really ponder that. And then third question, how does knowing Jesus' love bring me joy? I think that's where there needs to be that inward experience of how much Christ loves you. And that needs to be a constant place where you root in and you reflect and you focus on. And then from that position of knowing how much Jesus loves you, that in turn all of a sudden begins to change how you look at how to love others and what joy can come from that. And then the last question is, does it make sense to people that loving others sacrificially brings one joy? Why or why not? And again, I just want you to wrestle with that as you think about when people, for example, go to work. Do they lovingly give, or do they strategically always take or always position themselves to say, I'll only give when people play fair with me? And so this idea of just loving sacrificially, regardless if people play fair or not with you, a lot of people go, that's supposed to bring me joy? And this is where I think it's a real question of faith. But I want you to wrestle with that, because I think that for a lot of people, in their quest for joy, they are not wanting to follow this path of sacrificial love, which Jesus is saying, this is where you will find joy. Anyway, wrestle with all that. Have a good discussion. See you later.